Hello viewers, I am Will Keith, and welcome to what is possibly the most interesting video I've ever made. I am doing a review today, and I use the term review very loosely. Anyway, what I have, cold steel Viking axe. The bearded Viking axe, not the hawk axe. Cold steel has a variety of Viking axes. Some of them have the spike, that's the hawk axe. I have two smaller ones that don't have a beard and don't have a spike. They're just basic axe shapes. But 1055 high carbon steel, birchwood grip. It's banging into my smoker there. And I have to say, I very much like the look of this. The blade shape is very, very Viking-like, and the weight of it is, in my opinion, exactly what a two-handed axe should feel like. It's not too heavy. I can very easily swing it with one hand, but then obviously you have as much grip as you want. You can grab down here for really big chops, up here for more fine manipulation, or here for kind of a even mix between power and maneuverability. This is the one-handed grip right here because it's the axe head is far enough forward where you get the weight in the attacks, and you have grip down here, or if you want to quickly switch to a two-handed grip, and that's just a very balanced grip point for a axe of this length. However, when I got this, I showed it to a few people, and they all shared one common complaint. It's kind of basic looking. The head is amazing. However, it's just a plain birchwood grip. Nothing quite interesting about it. And personally, I'm a fan of the minimalist type weapons. However, I figure that there is some stuff that I could do with this. And I'm kind of terrified to do what I want to do because I could easily screw it up and ruin everything. However, I am going to go for it because if it turns out okay, this is going to look absolutely astonishing. So I'm going to set this up here. And what I have, this is a wood burning pen. Now, this thing is burning at about 500 degrees, I think. Maybe even hotter than that, I'm not sure. Very, very fucking hot. And if I were to touch that tip of my skin, that would be extremely bad. So I can't even tell if it's on. I don't really feel heat coming off of it. But I'm going to test it on this little wood chip from my smoker. Oh yeah. That's definitely working. I don't know if you can see the little marks I left in it there. So I'm going to take this axe and I am going to position it. I'm not quite sure in which way. I guess this. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Alright, now over here I have my laptop. And on my laptop, I have a kind of chart that I just put together over like the past hour of Norse runes that I want to engrave on this axe. And each of these runes, well, I keep saying runes, R-U-N-E, runes. Each of these either is important to me, the meaning of it, or it means something specific in this relation to the axe or to myself. So the first rune that I'm going to be burning into this axe is Laguz, and this isn't good. I've been staring into the light from my camera, and now I got like those spots in my eyes, and I can't actually read what's on my laptop. Laguz Kaunaz, which means, well, Laguz means water, sea, ocean, and Kaunaz means torch, fire, malady, or death. And that's the thing with Norse runes. Each one means a few different things. That's why it's very difficult to translate. But what I'm going for here is water's death as the name of this axe, since that's what I do. I'm always cutting open water bottles. I'm always doing other things, killing water, fucking, you know what I do. You know what I do. My entire channel is basically slaughtering containers full of water. So I feel like water's death would be a very apt name for this axe. And I am actually going to go over there and turn off the light to my camera because it actually does make it hard to read my laptop. So give me a sec. Okay, that is much better. So this is what I'm going to be doing. You can't see the runes because I got them over here. And relatively simple one. Another thing about Norse runes is they're all straight lines. There are no curves in any of these. So it's very easy to get them in there with the wood burner. So I'm going to turn the camera like this so you can have a better view of what I am doing. And I'm going to be using this unfolded paper clip as kind of like a ruler to just kind of keep myself on a straight line. Trying to figure out the best way to grip this. Alright, that feels pretty good. Alright, now I'm kind of feeling the heat from this. Before I wasn't. Alright, so I could very easily ruin this entire thing. If I do, I'm just going to have to wrap it up so it's not visible. But hopefully I can kind of keep this straight and make it look decent. So this rune is basically a straight line. I'm going to have to go over it a couple of times to get it burned in there fully. A straight line with another line coming diagonally off of it. I might need to change tips with this wood burner because this one is kind of clunky. Alright, that came out well. And then the other part of the rune is basically the letter C. So I'm just going to go for it. Trying to be so careful because like this hand-makey stuff isn't really my thing. I do have decent hands though because like I'm on video games constantly. So I feel like this shouldn't be too far out of my wheelhouse with the finger dexterity kind of thing. Alright. This actually came out pretty good. Alright, it's not perfect, but you know, Vikings weren't perfect either. Much more rustic kind of look to it. So now, we're moving on to the next rune, which is going to be Bjarkan, which means birch. And considering this handle is made out of birch, I feel like that would be a adequate rune for this. Not super important, but will kind of expand the line of runes, make it look a little bit better. So we're going to be doing that. And this is basically a big B. So this is only one, so there's no need to go on the left side. Trying to make these as straight as I can. This feels easy, but it's not actually super easy. Because if you fuck up, there's no going back. There's absolutely no erasing in wood burning. Alright, so there's the line. And now we gotta make the B. You know, I almost feel like I could do better at this if I was just free-handing it than with the paper clip. Because this thing... Yeah, I'm just going to freehand it. This might be a mistake, but handling both of these things is a bit of a hassle. And I do think that I should... Whoops. I do think that I should be able to manage this. I'm just going to go up from the middle here. Thing is, my paranoia of doing it right could very well cause me to screw it up and do it wrong. So I think I just need to kind of believe in myself and get it done. Like I said before, it doesn't need to be perfect because, you know, Vikings, they're doing this with very crude tools, and if it doesn't look absolutely perfect, that would actually make it look more authentic. Just trying to get it burned in there real good. Alright. And I want to go down to the initial line one more time. Alright, that came out really good. Alright, see what we got so far? That's Water's Death and Birch. Alright, now we're moving on to the next one, which is Thorisaz, which means giant. Giant, thorn, or danger. And that is adequate because one, giant, and I'm fat. So I'm going to go ahead and slip a fat joke in here. Danger, because, well, it's a fucking axe. And thorn, for a reason you'll find out later. So this is another simple one. It's just a line. It's just like a line with another thing in the middle. And I got to get closer to the middle of the axe because I'm kind of sliding off to the right here, which... Actually, no, that's adequate. Alright. So, I'm just going to go ahead and freehand it. Thing is, once you do one burn, the rest become easier because it's following a line that's already dug in. And let me just verify that I'm putting this in the right direction. Yes, I am. I hope you guys kind of have a good view to what I'm doing here. My hand's not in the way. It's hard for me to tell. And now, up this way. Okay. Good. Let's see, I'm checking my phone to see what kind of view I have of this. It's actually kind of off to the other side. You're not seeing too well. Gonna see if I can raise the camera and get you guys a better view. Alright, that seems a hell of a lot better. Alright. I know I just turned the camera, but I'm going to be turning it again because I got to talk about the next rune. Alright, so now we're going into the runes that mean things to me personally. The rest are just like single words or symbols that have singular meanings. However, the next few I'm going to be doing, the next 3, are going to be a lot more kind of intricate. So I'm going to be kind of explaining what they mean to me personally one by one. The next one that I am putting on here is the rune for kind of like feminine energy. And that might sound like kind of a weird thing. However, contrary to the entire way that I look, I am actually a huge feminist. And the injustices that women face, even in first world countries, are absolutely appalling. And I do what I can to kind of like spread the word about what's happening. And I try to do what I can to help stop the absolute ridiculousness that is sexism, even in the United States. Even in like the most progressive country around, there's just absolutely ridiculous shit still going on. There are women being refused birth control because of their age. There are women who are being refused abortions even though they're pregnant due to rape. There's just absolute... I could go on about this for like 6 hours. However, I'm going to calm down and not do that right now. But anyway, I'm a huge feminist, and generally this is a very important part of my life, and so it is going on the axe. The symbol here, along with feminine energy, it also has ties to addiction, stagnation, and loneliness, all of which I have suffered, and some of which I'm still suffering today. So, feminist or otherwise, this symbol also has value to me. So I'm turning the camera back down at the axe. And now this one is slightly more complicated, a couple more lines, but it shouldn't be all that difficult. Again, we have a straight line. Lots of these are kind of just a straight line to begin with. Okay. And now it goes off to kind of look like a C. You have a line going down like this, and then up like this, and then the same thing at the other end. This is going up into here, and then out this way like so. And I'm going to do another couple of passes here to kind of darken it. Alright, this is slightly sloppy, but as I keep saying, that is fine. Alright, there's that one. And now we're moving on to the M. And let me turn this back up for my explanation here. Now the M is basically the symbol for like the, I'm trying to get the schmutz off of the tip of this thing without also ruining my coat. Right. This is the symbol for basically the entire existence of humankind. So as a human, this should be kind of important to me by default. It says the self, the individual, or the human race. Your attitude towards others and their attitude towards you. This is extremely important. Me, if somebody doesn't treat me right, I'm not going to treat them right. And some people might be kind of against that. They're like, you should be better than your enemies. I'm not that good. If somebody pisses me the fuck off, I'm going to hate them forever. Friends and enemies in social order. Intelligence, forethought, creativity, skill, ability, intelligence, and awareness. So basically, the entire human body and the human mind is encompassed in this rune. And it's an extremely important one. And it's going on the axe. Now this one, I'm going to have to start a little bit. Whoops. Let me tilt you up a little bit here. This one I'm going to have to start a little bit further left. This one's going to be two lines with kind of an X connecting them. But at the end, it's going to end up looking like an M. So I'm going to start here. Just trying to... Come on. Want that a little bit longer. Alright, that's good. And now over here. Shit. Due to the angle, this one's kind of going off the rails. I'm going to try to kind of salvage it here. Alright, not too bad. This one has to go up a little bit higher. Perfect. Alright, now the X to connect the top. I think you guys have a really good view of what I'm doing here, so. I'm going to stop talking and just focus because I don't want to screw this one up. Okay, now across this way. It still seems like this one is higher than this one. I'm gonna... Alright, that seems even now. I'm gonna try to be as accurate as possible, but it's not easy on the curved surface. Okay, alright, the base of it is done. Now I just need to go over it a couple more times till it's perfect. Okay. It's the symbol of man. Alright, now we have one more. This kind of just looks like an S. Hang on, let me tilt you back up. This one basically just looks like an S. However, there's a lot of meaning behind the simple rune. It stands for honor, victory, and success. Contact between the higher self and the unconscious. Now, this is another thing that's kind of important to me. And the way that I interpret it is that your subconscious should also be what's in the forefront of your mind. Basically, to me, it means don't be fake. You know what I mean? Like, the things that you feel in your subconscious should be the things that you put forward. Like, I don't hide what I'm into. I'm out here fucking wood burning an axe. And there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, I'd like to do that, but they don't, because that makes them seem like a huge fucking nerd. But that's not me. I just come out here, I do it, and I post it on the internet for thousands of people to watch, because I don't give a goddamn shit. I know who I am, and I have absolutely no qualms about putting that forward. So moving through here. Wholeness, power, elemental force, sword or flame, cleansing fire, destruction, retribution, justice, casting down of vanity. Now this is a very powerful one. It's all under that same little S. And I've always been very big on justice. When I was a little kid, before I got too fat, I always wanted to be an officer. But now as I got older, I kind of went back on that, because I know that even in the police, who as a kid always seemed like untouchable, there's always corruption, there's always evil. There's evil fucking everywhere. And unfortunately, I don't have the money or skill to become the Punisher. So I'm kind of just stuck dealing with it and doing what little bits that I can. But anyway, justice, very important to me. Honor, victory, and success. This is definitely going on the axe. So it's kind of just a little lightning bolt S kind of shape. And let's go back down to the axe here. And let's get that in. I just want to make sure I'm starting from the right point. God, going at an angle on this curved handle is really, really difficult. Shit. Alright. And now back. Alright, I gotta make that way thicker. Alright. Just like the others. Not perfect, but it works. You know, the first one, compared to the later ones, is very kind of spindly. I don't think the thing was fully operational when I did this first bit. So I'm gonna go over the first rune again and kind of make that a bit thicker. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Okay. Yeah, that very better fits in with the rest of them. And this one, I guess, could use a little bit more burning in the middle one here. Okay. Fuck yeah. Check that out. It's not perfect. I wish that I could have done it neater. I might get a new shaft for this thing one day and try it again. But for now, that's as good as it's going to get. So I'm going to turn off the wood burner and let it sit here and safely cool down. It's going to take quite a while. I got to balance that right. And let me turn the camera back up to me. Alright, it's better than I thought I could do, being completely honest. It's not perfect. It looks very rustic and crudely done, which fits the theme. So, we're moving on to the next part of this video, which is a leather grip. Now, I'm actually going to turn off the video and restart it so it's easier to edit later, so one sec. Alright, so the leather grip. I have here 12 feet of kind of leather cord. It's real leather. However, I fucked up. When I ordered this, I saw 12 feet 2 pieces, which led me to believe that it was two 12-foot pieces. However, it is a total of 12 feet into 6-foot pieces. See? 6 feet to the ground. So that kind of sucks. And it also means that I don't have enough to put 2 separate grips on it. I was going to put one down at the base and one up right below the runes. However, I'm going to have to put it in a one-handed grip, and then when I can get my hands on more leather, I'm just going to wrap all the way from the runes to the bottom of the grip. So I'm going to have to kind of jury rig it right now. So I'm going to put the leather right around where I can do a one-handed grip. And you know, if I have to shift up here, that doesn't matter because there's not going to be leather here anyway because of the runes. And if I need to just grab the bottom, that's also not a big deal because you know it's wood. You can hold wood. It's not splintery or anything. So, I'm going to take the leather. And where is the grip going to be? Right here. Alright. So I'm going to start at the bottom and go up. And I might do a kind of fast motion montage here because this is going to take a very long time. And unlike the runes, there's nothing for me to really talk about while it's going. So enjoy some music.
I've got a rifle, but a bullet and no spare.
done. Alright, that took about 15 minutes total. You saw it in about 3 with the song going. Fucking love that song, by the way. That's Sworn to Oath. I remember years and years ago, I got a random YouTube private message back when that was still a thing. God, fucking YouTube, man. Anyway, they had like one song up on their channel, and they sent me a link. They sent links to basically everybody they saw commenting in a metal video, I guess. And I love the song. The band's really cool, so hope you like that. Feel free to check out their other stuff. Anyway, here's the axe. It's not perfect. I keep using that phrase, not perfect. But holy shit, I am a fan. The grip is the perfect length with those 2 bits of leather. It's just in the right place for big one-handed chops. And I have plenty of room to grip down here for big overheads or horizontal attacks. And of course I can very easily switch to the left-handed grip and grip up here as well. And go like this, no problem, whatever I want. But the grip is there in a nice one-handed grip location. And then I have the runes. So, holy shit, guys, this thing has turned out so good. And like I said, I wish the runes could be a bit neater. I might get another one. I might get another shaft, or maybe just another one of these axes someday, and try to get that done a bit better. Trace them on there first with pencil before I burn. Maybe use a different tip. But anyway, it came out pretty good for a first attempt for somebody who never really does anything like this. And there is one more thing I want to do. Anybody who buys cold steel knows that almost all of their axes and machetes, basically anything that's not an expensive sword, comes with a stupid sticker right on the blade. So let's turn it down here and see if you can see that. Do you see this kind of darker thing right here? That's what the sticker is. I tried scratching it off a steel wall, and now I'm going to try to get it off with my knife here. Oh, hey, that's actually doing a pretty good job. Alright, now, hang on, let me get a wipe. Don't worry, I'm going to dry this very well as soon as I'm done doing this. Let's see, does that... no, there's still a little bit of it on there. Just using the back end of the knife here because that scratches just as well. Damage the blade less, that's for sure. Alright. It's still visible, but I'll get it off of there someday with enough scratching. So I'm going to go inside and dry this thing off best I can. And go out for a test. Alright, so I'm out in the lair. I'm not using my mic because I can't find it, to be honest. I think it might be in the car, I don't know. Anyway, I got my axe out here. I'm thinking I might do runes around down this side too, but not on video, not right now at least. So I'm going to be testing this out. I'm not bringing in any water bottles because I'm saving them for the next video I'm going to make. So I'm just going to kind of wheel into my post here because this thing's already kind of fucked. I'm going to have to buy a new one very soon. So I don't have much mercy left for this. So, water's death. Let's give this a go. Cuts in nice and deep. Grip stays together. God, it really goes in there. Can't really see how deep it's cutting from that side. Let me change over here. Blade Not a mark on it, no cosmetic, no actual damage. Grip staying together, surprisingly. I'm not too good with the leather wrapping, so it's staying together through normal use. Man, it really goes in on the overhead. Right. After that combo, the grip is kind of failing a little bit. I know I'm gonna have to rewrap it with better leather, but it's not coming apart. It's just kind of sliding up the handle. A little bit of pulling, and it's back together. Alright, I'm really just gonna go at this thing like multiple hits. Make sure that nothing happens to the blade. This thing is solid. Very solid. No edge damage whatsoever. It's a fucking axe, and it does what an axe is supposed to do. Even if this is an axe designed for combat, you're wielding into a piece of wood like this, absolutely nothing happens to the blade. It's going to be fine in combat. So, cold steel Viking axe. If you type that into Amazon, you're going to have to look through a few of them, but I'm going to put a link in the video description. It's going to come pretty simple looking, but if you want to do stuff to it, you can do stuff to it. It's customizable. I am going to have to rewrap this at some point, but you know, it does its job. As long as it doesn't come apart, I can keep squeezing it back into place. I gotta say, I fucking love this thing. For an axe, you know, 8 out of 10. It could look a little bit better out of the box, but it's, I can't say 8 out of 10 because you know what you're ordering. It's not like you order a really fancy looking axe and you get this. You know what you're getting when you buy it. So, you know, when you order this, it's 10 out of 10 because you're going to get exactly what you want to get. Alright, now, there is one more thing that I want to try. I don't know if it's going to work, but I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if I didn't give it a go. So let's see.